podcast. I'm happy to sit out. I'm in the parking lot of a place called Chocolatory Stamp. It's down on Ingersoll and Bell Avenue, or excuse me, off of Bell Avenue. In fact, I used to work at a company right up the street here for about 10 years before I had a strike and it shut the doors. Anyhow, I got a couple hours to kill before I can go to the next Chocolatory Stand. So this is like where all the Oompa Loompas work. This is Willy Wonka's factory, and it's a rare day that I actually see a bunch of cars in the parking lot. A lot of times I come out here and it's like nobody's ever here, but they own a whole slew of stores across the state. Top-notch stuff. This stuff way above my pay grade, I guarantee it. Anyway, while I'm sitting here, I've been reading up on Keep on the Borderlands. I had a couple videos a while back about favorite modules and things like that, and it got me a bit of nostalgia. So I went out and I found the PDF of this thing because this was like the cornerstone module for a lot of my friends back in the early 80s. This came out in 1981. That would have put me about 14-ish, 14 when it came out. And mostly what I want to talk about is Gary Gygax's view on what you need to do to be a good dungeon master from his book, his own words, right? So how to be an effective dungeon master. As a dungeon master, the beginner is faced with a difficult problem. The DM is the most important person in the D&D game. He or she sets up and controls all situations, makes decisions, and acts as the link between the players and the world he or she has created. Perhaps the most common question asked by beginning dungeon master is, what do I do to run a game? It is possible to read through the rules and become slightly lost by all the things that must be prepared and known before DMing a game. Yeah, Gary Gygax said slightly lost. Slightly lost, right? Okay. Unlike most board games, D&D play relies on information, both from the players and from the DM. In board games, the way the game is played is obvious. First one person moves and then the other. Actions are limited and choices are few. In this game, the action is only limited by the abilities of the character, the imagination of the player, and the decisions of the DM. The play will often go in unexpected directions, and the DM will sometimes be required to decide on situations not covered in the rules. The DM is the judge. As a judge or moderator or referee, the DM must constantly deal with the players. Just as the referee of a sporting event, the DM must be fair. He or she cannot be out to get the players, nor should he or she be on their side all the time. The DM must be neutral. If a party has played well and succeeded, the DM should not punish them by sending more and more monsters at them or thwart their plans. On the other hand, if the players have acted foolishly, they should get their just rewards. In combat, the DM should play the monsters to the best of the monster's ability. If the creature is stupid, it may be easily tricked or may not be always do the smartest thing. If the monster is clever or intelligent, it will fight to its best advantage. The DM must be fair, but the players must play wisely. The DM is also the designer of the situations and must bear in mind the abilities of his or her players. It is the job of the DM to see what the situation and the characters balance. If things are too difficult, the players will become discouraged, too easy, and they will become bored. It is possible for a good player to win, yet still be challenged and risk in doing so. Is the amount of treasure gained equal to the danger trained to get it? As the DM, much satisfaction comes from watching players overcome a difficult situation, but they should do it on their own. To defeat monsters and overcome problems, the DM must be the dispenser of information. Again, he or she must be fair, telling the party what it can see, but not what it cannot. Questions will be asked by the players, either of the DM or of some character the party has encountered, and the DM must decide what to say. Information should never be just given away that the characters have not found out. Secret doors may be missed, treasure and magic items may be overlooked, or the wrong question is asked of a townsperson. The players must be allowed to make their choices, or their own choices. Therefore, it is important that the DM give accurate information, but the choice of action is the player's decision. Throughout all this, making decisions, playing roles, handling monsters, The DM must remember that he or she is in control. The DM is the judge, and it is his or her game. The DM should listen to the players, weigh their arguments fairly when the disagreements arise, but the final decisions belong to the DM. The Dungeon Master's word is law. Gary Gygax. His words, his writing, his view of how Dungeons & Dragons originally was meant to be played. Now, we've come a long way since then. We've become a little more even-keeled. We've come to the understanding that the DM is not all that in a bag of chips. The players are. But the DM plays an extremely important role in most of these type of games. There's a lot of people out there say otherwise. That's on them. Just saying what Gary Gygax said in my crappy voice. I'm still trying to recover from this cold from Keep on the Borderlands. Till next time, I'm Rick. You're not. Thanks for joining me, guys. And yes, I am also mentally challenged.